Home is more than a place to live. Home is where we belong, our sanctuary. For General George C. Marshall and his wife Katherine, home was here, a country house in the small town of Leesburg, Virginia. In the spring of 1941, Katherine oversaw a move to their first real home, Dodona Manor, a place for the Army Chief of Staff to relax from the pressures of preparing to enter World War II. The house was more than the Marshall's sanctuary for the next 18 years. It was also a witness to history. World leaders, members of Congress, and senior military officials visited Marshall here. Today, Dodona Manor remains the home of the Marshall legacy and the history made here. As you step inside, you can almost smell the coffee brewing in the quaint 1950s kitchen. You can see the books that mattered to the Marshalls on the shelves in their library. You see artifacts of greatness, the Nobel Peace Prize, a painting by Winston Churchill, the room where Madame Chiang Kai-shek and other visiting VIPs stayed. You can imagine Secretary of State Marshall home after long weeks in Washington, where he forged the vision that would rebuild a shattered post-war Europe, what history calls the Marshall Plan. You can picture the scene when President Truman traveled more than an hour from Washington in 1950 to ask Marshall to serve his nation one final time as Secretary of Defense. And you can tour the garden the Marshalls lovingly tended and walk under graceful trees that shade the grounds. U.S. history is composed of many chapters, and one tells the story of George and Katherine Marshall. When you visit the Marshalls' home, you step inside that chapter, a full-color reminder that history didn't happen, it was made. And in the case of Dodona Manor, it was made right here.